Okay, let's talk about that big metal box sitting outside your house. You know, your HVAC system. For most of us, it's a total mystery, right up until it quits on the hottest day of the year. So in this explainer, we're going to demystify this thing. We're going to turn that confusion into confidence so you know exactly what's happening and what to do next.
So here's our game plan. First up, we're going to find out who the real enemy is, what's putting your system under all that stress. Then you'll learn how to decode the warnings it's already sending you. After that, we'll walk through the 3 paths you can take when things go wrong, and I'll even give you a super simple financial rule to help you decide between repairing or replacing. And finally, we'll get into why professional standards are absolutely non-negotiable.
All right, let's dive into our first section. When your air conditioning or heat fails, it feels like a simple breakdown, right? A part went bad. But the truth? It's usually the final shot in a long, slow battle your system has been fighting against the environment itself.
We've all had this nightmare. It's the peak of summer, just scorching hot. And suddenly, silence. The air stops moving, and you can feel the temperature inside start to creep up. It's pure panic. But that sudden failure, it's almost never really sudden. It's just the final symptom of a much bigger issue.
So what's really going on? Your system didn't just decide to die today. It's been in a hidden war, fighting an opponent you probably don't even think about. The real enemy isn't just a random broken part. It's the climate you live in. And this is who your system is up against. I mean, just think about it. If you live somewhere with extreme humidity, your AC is running non-stop, not just to cool the air, but to literally wring gallons of water out of it. Or maybe you've got aggressive soil that messes with your drainage. And we all know about violent storms that can send power surges through the lines and just fry those delicate electronic boards. Even a huge temperature swing puts an incredible amount of stress on all the components. The main takeaway here is that your system is under constant attack.
Now let's get to the next section. Knowing the enemy is one thing, but here's the good news. Your system gives you warning signs before it completely gives up. It's time we learned how to speak its language and translate those signals into action.
So you walk out to the garage or up to the attic, and there it is, a puddle of water forming under your indoor unit. It's definitely an alarming sight, and it's one of the most common red flags homeowners run into. But what's actually going on? And this pretty much explains it all. Your AC is basically a giant dehumidifier, remember? It's pulling all this moisture out of the air. That water has to drain out somewhere through what's called a condensate line. But that dark, damp pipe is the perfect little home for algae and mold to grow, creating a clog. And when it clogs, that water has nowhere to go but back into your house. Okay, here's another weird one you might see. The house isn't getting cool, so you pop open the panel on the indoor unit, and the coil inside, which should just be cold and wet, is completely covered in a block of ice. I mean, ice on a 95-degree day. This is a massive sign that something is very wrong. Now, this isn't just some random fluke. Ice builds up for a couple of key reasons. The first, and easiest to fix, is restricted airflow. If your air filter is totally clogged with dust, the system can't breathe. It can't pull enough warm air across the coil, so the coil just gets colder and colder until it freezes over. The second big reason is low refrigerant, which usually means you have a leak somewhere. Without the right amount of refrigerant, it just can't absorb heat properly. And, you guessed it, it freezes. So your system is either sending you smoke signals or it's failed completely. It can feel really chaotic, but there's actually a pretty clear framework for what to do next. You basically have 3 choices, 3 paths you can take. And these are your options. Path 1 is the emergency repair. That's the fast fix when your AC dies in the middle of a heat wave. Path 2 is a full-on system replacement. This is the right move when your unit is old and you're just throwing good money after bad with constant repairs. And then there's path 3, preventative maintenance. This is the proactive, smart choice that helps you avoid the other 2 paths by catching small problems before they become big, expensive ones. Deciding between path 1 and path 2, repair or replace, that's often the biggest, most stressful question. So to help you out, let's look at a really practical tool. It's a simple formula, and it's called the $5,000 decision rule. So what is this thing? Well, the $5,000 rule is just a simple guideline. You take the estimated cost of the repair and you multiply it by the age of your HVAC unit in years. If that number comes out to more than $5,000, it's a really strong sign that you should probably replace the system instead of sinking more cash into an old machine that's just going to fail again. As you can see, the formula couldn't be simpler.
repair cost times the unit's age. If the answer is greater than $5,000, the verdict is to replace it. It's just a quick little calculation that cuts through all the emotion and stress and gives you a clear, data-driven answer.
Let's make this real. Imagine you get a quote for a $500 repair on your system, and you know it's about 12 years old. Okay, you multiply 500 by 12 and you get $6,000. Since that number is well over our $5,000 threshold, the rule is telling you that investing that repair money into a brand new, more efficient system is probably the smarter financial move in the long run. Okay, so whether you end up repairing or replacing, there's one more piece of the puzzle that is absolutely crucial. The quality of the work itself is everything. So let's talk about why professional standards aren't just a nice to have, they are an absolute must to protect your investment and your home. A true pro doesn't just wing it. They follow a strict playbook, and you should know what's in it. They'll have an EPA certification, which is legally required to handle refrigerants. They'll do something called a manual J load calculation. This is so important because it makes sure the new system is the perfect size for your house. Too big or too small are both bad. They should also use manual D to make sure your ductwork design gives you proper airflow in every single room. And of course, they follow all the local electrical and mechanical codes to keep you safe. Skipping any of those steps, that's a shortcut. And it's a shortcut that's going to cost you big time. A bad installation leads to wasted energy, rooms that are never comfortable, endless repair calls, and a system that dies years before its time. A quality job is the foundation of everything.
So there you have it. You now understand the forces that are working against your system, you know how to read its warning signs, and you have the tools to make smart decisions when things go wrong. You know the difference between a quick patch and a real solution. So the final question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Is your home's most vital system truly ready for that next heat wave or cold snap?